Another RPG mod is a mod that can be best summed up by its workshop description. Heavily customizable RPG mod that add level, stats, skill tree, item leveling, enemy rank, modifier, exclamation mark. Expect some bug in multiplayer as of now. Yeah. In other words, it can be summed up like this. The longer you play, the more points you earn. You can earn character stats, weapon modifiers, and the longer you use a weapon or piece of armor, the more effective it becomes. Kind of like every RPG ever. So I thought of an amazing idea that may or may not be possible. Killing the Eye of Cthulhu with the starting copper short sword. Most people just throw it away after they find iron or lead and make a better sword. But I've decided it would be in my best interest to never throw it away and upgrade it to the point it might be able to one-tap the Eye of Cthulhu. So on day 1, I spent most of the day learning how the RPG mechanics work. I've only seen one video on this, by I Like Cheese. His channel will be linked in the description along with the video. His video had piqued my interest enough for me to try it. I had no idea how it worked. All I know of it is that it has a custom HUD which has Calamity Mod quaking in its pants. Before we start, let's go over the HUD. First off, you may notice that the health and mana bar have been moved to the bottom left of the screen, which I'll admit took a while to get used to. I'd find myself looking at the top right of the screen every now and again. Now let's get into the cool stuff. The XP bar. This new, shiny bar is what allows you to become an immovable object and or unstoppable force if you really want to. When I first started playing, I had no idea this was in the game, but you can bind the armor and item upgrades to your keyboard. But for some reason this is not binded to any key when you begin. I had no idea you could upgrade armor and items for a good third of my playthrough. Along with item upgrades, you can also progress through your skill tree. A long and convoluted mess of numbers and words that only make sense to the staunchest D&D players. Now with our character created, we must start off in finding Platinum. Platinum armor is the best pre-Eye of Cthulhu armor set you can find, and with armor upgrades present, I can become pretty tanky with just this armor set. The Thorns damage is also welcome too. Now to the main character, the MVP, the GOAT. Copper sword. Some people just throw this weapon away as soon as I can make an iron or wood sword, which for some reason is stronger than the copper sword. I can only use the copper sword, or at least use it the most out of any weapon, so I can get as much experience on it and upgrade to the maximum as soon as possible. As you can probably think, the game becomes pretty much impossible to play at a certain point, or at least very, very unlikable. That's when I found out about the configuration settings in the mod menu. Hate it or not, I wasn't gaining enough XP to beat the game in a normal amount of time. So I increased the XP multiplier by 1.75. I was now gaining XP at what I felt was a much fairer rate, while keeping the game challenging enough for it to be entertaining. After spending most of my time grinding in the caves for enough skill points to upgrade my vitality and armor to a point most post-Moonlord players can never get, I tested my luck in fighting the Eye of Cthulhu. My damage output wasn't nearly enough to one-shot him, but I was able to tank him very well, which makes sense considering he's a first boss. My only issue was the other mobs that come out at night. Their damage output was greater than the Eye of Cthulhu itself, and with the amount of them, I was killed. I wouldn't let this stop me, however, as I'd come up with a genius solution: the box. I stand still with a bass statue in a pool of honey, trapped in a container of which only the Eye of Cthulhu could enter. The next day I went in for my second attempt. It did not go well. It was better than the last attempt, but my damage output wasn't enough. If I wanted to kill him with my copper short sword, I'd need to get much more powerful. After that massive grind, I managed to get to level 50, which was enough levels to get to the next class. Now, having too much confidence in myself, I put myself in the box again to duke it out with the Eye of Cthulhu. It didn't work. I became an immovable object, but my damage output wasn't enough. Unfortunately, it became daytime, and the Eye ran away like a little pussy. Before I killed the Eye with my copper sword, I decided to kill it with something a little better. I can now get the Blood Butcherer, which means I can finally grind a lot faster for XP. Now with my copper short sword reaching up to 17 damage a hit, I was confident enough that I would be able to kill him with just my dinky little blade. This guy ain't know who he is. Weird. Do more damage to him in the box. Get back in! We got him, before daytime even. Zombie type. He does more damage. Finally he was bested, but I'm unsure if I can get to a point where I can one-tap him with just a short copper sword. I guess we have to find out in another video.
I think it's time we blow this scene, get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1,